What's going on, everybody? My name is NoVaVisionsx, and today we're going over the 2025 through 2026 NFL starting quarterbacks and where I would rank them. As you'll notice immediately, I have a hasn't played spot, which is obviously for the players who haven't played. I'll say where I think they might end up, but I'm not going to go and say anything definitive. I'm just going to say how I think they might play out. But yeah, just let me know down below how you feel my rankings are, if you think anything should be changed. But without further ado, let's get this tier list started. Alright, starting off with Matthew Stafford. I think he is still an S tier quarterback. I think he is a very good player. I think he's going to end off his career on good terms. I think the Rams are going to have another good season. And overall, this guy's a borderline Hall of Famer, maybe a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I mean, that's up for debate. But Stafford's still a really good quarterback, and I think he could still lead this franchise to good places. So, Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff's A tier. The thing about Jared Goff is he's very efficient until he isn't, because he's like a very good quarterback, but when he has a bad game, it is like a very bad game. I mean, it doesn't happen often, so that's why he goes in A tier, but sometimes those games just kind of keep him out of S tier for me. So I think Jared Goff is an A tier quarterback. Sam Darnold. Last year, very good. But every other year we've seen him play. But we're going into this season. Only reason I'm putting him there is because I'm going off of what happened last season and how I think they'll play this season. We were talking about his whole career. He wouldn't be this high, but since this is 2025 to 2026, and I guess technically 2024, but he was very good last season. He was like top 5 in MVP voting. I can't put him out of A tier. I think he was a very good quarterback last year. I want to argue S tier, but in the playoffs he was kind of not what you want to see. So he's gonna be an A tier. Our first top 5 player, the MVP, Josh Allen. Not much to say there. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. And there's not much debate there. So Josh Allen's a top 5 quarterback. Lawrence. I still think he's a good quarterback. He hasn't been as good as he was supposed to be. But this year I think we'll learn some things. He's got another good weapon, which I guess he's always had pretty solid weapons. He's got a new head coach, which I really like that move. I think that, he might be good this year, and I really hope he is. If he doesn't figure it out this year, I think this might be his last year being a starter. I don't know. But I think Trevor Lawrence is a B tier quarterback. Bo Nix. He was also pretty good last year. I'd say Bo Nix is probably a B tier quarterback. He started off kind of shaky, but, he looked pretty good until he got to, like, the playoffs. But overall, Bo Nix was a really good quarterback last year. Was pretty surprising. A lot of people didn't think he'd be as good as he was, and he was a pretty solid quarterback, so I give Bo Nix B tier. Caleb Williams. Take it with a grain of salt. I know he had no line, but he also had, like, pretty good weapons, and a very good defense. He had flashes, but overall he was kind of underwhelming. I think he'll progress a lot more this year, with obviously a better line, same weapons. Actually, I guess a little bit more weapons, better offensive coordinator. I think Caleb Williams will be better than what he was last year this year. And Drake May, I think, was in a worse situation. He had an okay line, and he was throwing to a bunch of nobodies for the most part. So a lot of people kind of were hating on Drake May, but you gotta realize he was playing with, like, no one. I mean, Drake May really was not given a great situation, and he did okay. I mean, I'm not saying he played very good either, but I feel like he's comparable to how Caleb Williams played last year. Patrick Mahomes is obviously a top 5 quarterback. I mean, he's what, in the last 3 Super Bowls straight? So, he's going to stay top 5. In fact, he's the best quarterback in the league right now. I'd put him 1. I'd probably put Lamar 2, and then Josh Allen 3. And then, obviously, we'll get to the other two in a little bit. Geno, I think he's a solid B-tier quarterback. He's not going to win you, like, a Super Bowl. I don't even know if he'll win you a playoff game, but he's a solid starter. He's obviously been a career backup, figured things out for the Seahawks, led him to pretty solid records, you know, up 500, a little bit above 500. So Geno is still a good quarterback. He's just not like an elite quarterback that's going to really take you anywhere. Justin Herbert. As bad as I want to put him in B tier because he really hasn't done anything, this is his last year in A tier. This is his last year in A tier. He really has not proved himself to be very good in the playoffs. He's been solid in the regular season. That could be attested to coaching, but last year had a pretty good coach, but they also had a better record. So I think Herbert is still an A-tier quarterback. I feel like a lot of people kind of overhype him because he really hasn't done much, but I'd still say he's still an A-tier quarterback, but it's pushing it. It's getting to a point where I kind of want to, I don't know if I really want to leave him there, but I'll do it. Dak. And Dak's kind of like the rest of these guys on this tier list. Got to the playoffs and gets to the playoffs and doesn't really do anything, which obviously is Jared Goff. You know, he's been to a Super Bowl. He's more established than the rest of these guys in the tier list, but Dak is a very good regular season quarterback. He's still a very good quarterback, but he's not. He's got to figure out his playoff issues, and I don't know if that's a him problem. I don't know if it's been a coaching problem. I don't know, but for now, he's an A-tier quarterback. Russell Wilson. He's regressed. If we were talking about career-wise, obviously, you know, very good career, very good quarterback, but anymore, he's not very great. I'd say he's a C-tier quarterback. Kind of fallen off a cliff a bit, and that's unfortunate for him. But it's just the truth. He's a C-tier quarterback. There's not many teams I'd really want him starting on anymore. Jalen Hurts is in the top 5. He just won the Super Bowl. I get that he has a very good team around him, but, you know, winning the Super Bowl really puts you into that status, and he's done it. And he did it, you know, just this last year. So, as much as I don't like the Eagles, I can respect that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in this league. So. Jay Daniels took a Commanders team that no one thought was going to be good, a bunch of old heads, to an NFC championship in his rookie year. And he looked great. I mean, he was putting up numbers last year. I think Jay Daniels is easily an S-tier quarterback. And, you know, we'll see if he makes it any further this year. I don't know. Maybe he'll enter the top 5. It's not going to be easy, but we'll see. Jordan Love. Jordan Love's probably A-tier. He's shown flashes that he could be better, but he's also... His bad games are kind of like Jared Goff's bad games. His bad games are bad. His good games are good. I'd like to see him do a little more in the playoffs, but, you know, he's actually... I believe he's one of few. But Jordan Love is still a very good quarterback. We'll see how he does this year. And, yeah. J.J. McCarthy. Hasn't played. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do. He's in a good system. He's got good coaches. I think he'll probably end up being something like Bo Nix was. But he hasn't played, so I'm going to put him there. Penix. From the little bit we got to see, he looked pretty solid, but he didn't get to play enough for me to warrant putting him anything higher than C. But from what we've seen, he looks solid, so Michael Penix will be a C-tier quarterback for now. Justin Fields. He was pretty solid last year. I think he was above 500, or he was 500 starting for the Steelers before they moved on. But we'll see how he does this year on the Jets. I mean, Jets are pretty good at failing quarterbacks, so if he can somehow bring them to like a 500 record, I'd probably have a higher opinion of him. But for now, he's B tier, and, you know, even that's kind of a stretch, because I almost feel like I should put him in C tier, given he didn't play the whole year. But from what we saw, I'll give him B tier for now. Bryce. Lost the starting job in the beginning of the year, played really well at the end of the year, but it was like a small sample size, kind of like Michael Penix. So he looked really good, but he didn't play enough for me to warrant putting him any higher than C tier. So I want Bryce Young to succeed, but I gotta be honest, we haven't seen enough for me to put him anything higher than C tier. Well, he retired, so I guess pretend it's Tyler Shuck. Hasn't played. Baker. I really want to put him in S tier, but he's only. He did. You know what? I'm doing it. People might be getting mad at me for it, but I love Baker. He is such a good quarterback. I mean, he brings the Buccaneers to a playoff game every single year. I mean, I think with him behind the helm, they have deep playoff run possibilities. I don't know if they're really a Super Bowl team, but I think Baker is an S tier quarterback, and I'm sure a lot of people don't really agree with that, but that's just where I got him, man. I think Baker is a very good quarterback. Kyler. Kyler's a good quarterback. Obviously, sometimes I question his decision making, but he's got a lot of potential. I mean, Kyler, he's just gotta stay healthy, gotta keep playing. I think he easily is an A tier quarterback. Could be better, but also he's kind of been on the Cardinals his whole career, so it's a rough team to be on. But I'd say Kyler's an A tier quarterback. Brock Purdy. Now, a lot of people are gonna like this, and I understand that, but I think Brock's probably an S tier quarterback, or at least top 10, which is S tier, top 5. We'll see. Yeah. Brock Purdy is, other than last year, not had bad stats, and even last year he didn't even have terrible stats, but he had like no one last year, and he still put up okay numbers. I get that, everyone always says he's a system quarterback, which, you could argue the same thing for Jalen Hurts, and I have him in the top 5. So I'd say Brock Purdy is a very overhated player, considering he's already made a Super Bowl and he's in his third or fourth year now. I mean, he's a good player. So I'm gonna give Brock his flowers, and I'm gonna put him in S tier. Joe Burrow will round off the top 5. And obviously we know why. I mean, he was the passing leader last year. He had the most passing touchdowns. He played with no defense and put up elite numbers every game. I mean, Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback. So if they can get a defense figured out, that team will go back to the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is a solid quarterback. He can win you some games, but if you're starting him for like a full year, he's probably not taking you to the playoffs. I don't think he'll be keeping the starting job the whole time. I think Shador is going to take it over eventually. But yeah, I'm just going to leave Flacco in C tier. Rudolph, terrible. He's probably going to be the only player in D tier, and that's saying something because I'm really considering Anthony Richardson. But yeah, Rudolph just isn't a good quarterback. He's a backup. He does not need the starting job at the Steelers, but we'll see if he gets it. But he's D tier. Stroud, we'll put him in A. Stroud had a really good first year. Last year, he didn't look as good, but as someone who really likes him, I think he definitely belongs in A tier. CJ Stroud is a very good quarterback. We'll just see if he can go back to his first year of play this upcoming season. Anthony Richardson. Also lost the starting job. But he has a big arm. He's super athletic. I really want this guy to succeed, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how many more chances he's going to get. We'll see how he does. If he can stay healthy, if he can not turn the ball over. I think he has star potential, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, right now he's kind of looking more like Bryce Young than he is looking like, you know, a starter. But I don't know. Bryce Young was actually playing better than him last year, so we'll see. Cam Ward. I think he'll probably end up. He's gonna be somewhere in here. I don't know. The Titans are a rough team to be starting for, so I hope he succeeds. I want to see the rookie succeed, but some of them are in, you know, teams that's gonna be rough. But we'll see about Cam Ward. I don't really have much of an opinion on him. Haven't seen him play yet, so. Tua is a solid quarterback. I will say that team did fall apart whenever he was gone. So, that does say something about him, or maybe that just says something about their backups. I don't know. Tua, he has an injury problem, but whenever he played the full year, the 2023 season, I believe he was the passing leader. So he's not a bad quarterback at all. I'd say Tua's B tier, probably the top of B tier. I mean, he's probably better than all these guys, if we're being completely honest here. And I'm noticing I only have 9, so I guess that means we're going to move him here, there. Something like that. I think that's how I'd rank it. So yeah, that's my ranking on the quarterbacks coming into the 2025 season. Let me know how you feel down below. And if you guys like this video, give it some love. The last one actually got a good amount of views, especially for a smaller channel like myself. So if you guys want to see more NFL content, obviously I'm not going to make my own channel about it, but I'd be more than willing to do more videos about it. But yeah, if you guys like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and as always, I appreciate you watching the video.